any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
With having a foreign country having a controlling interest in a U.S. steel company?
Well, let's look at this. When I came here, they were going to buy it, and Biden was going to approve it. All of a sudden, Biden didn't because he heard I wasn't going to. I don't want U.S. steel being owned by a foreign country.
Interest is okay?
They can have they don't have a controlling. They have an investment. All they're going to have is an investment.
Will it be a joint?
I don't mind an investment in a company, but especially U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel for 15 years was the greatest company in the world, the greatest number one company in the world. And I'm not going to let another country buy it. We had a great meeting on that, but they are allowed to invest in it, and that's different.
Mr. President, on tariffs, sir, you talked about reciprocal tariffs coming in this week. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And are you announcing a plan for it this week?
Yeah, I'll be announcing probably Tuesday or Wednesday at a news conference, reciprocal tariffs. And very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them. That's all.
When is it going to affect, sir?
Almost immediately. But I'll be announcing the details of it, highly detailed. And it'll be great for everybody, including the other countries. But if they are charging us 130% and we're charging them nothing, it's not going to stay that way.
This is on every country?
Every country will be reciprocal. That's right.
Mr. President, can you confirm that
it won't affect everybody because there's some where we have similar tariffs. But the ones that are taking advantage of the United States, we're going to have it's reciprocity, it's reciprocal. We're going to have a reciprocal tariff. But we'll have a news conference Tuesday or Wednesday.
And just on the steel question, just so I understand.
We'll also be announcing steel tariffs on Monday.
On this, tomorrow?
Monday, yeah, tomorrow.
What countries will those go on?
Everybody. Steel.
Including Canada and Mexico?
Yeah. Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum, too.
10%?
25%.
25 for aluminum as well?
25 for both.
For both. And on steel, sir, are you ruling out then Nippon Steel having a 51% stake or higher? They won't have a majority stake?
Nobody can have a majority stake for U.S. Steel. They can for other companies, but not for U.S. Steel.
My question is to the Prime Minister. Did President Trump inform the Prime Minister that the United States would be imposing tariffs on Australian steel and aluminium prior to the measures being announced? If not, when did the Prime Minister last speak to President Trump?
go to the Prime Minister.
I thank the member for his question, and the Australian people know I will always stand up for them. And I will always stand up for Australia's national interests, and it is in Australia's national interest to have free and fair trade. Yeah. This government has a strong record indeed of working with other nations to protect and advance Australia's trade interests. We will navigate any differences which are there diplomatically, and we will continue to make the case to the United States for Australia to be given an exemption to any steel and aluminium tariffs. We have raised with the US administration in recent ministerial discussions these issues. Australian steel and aluminium are core input to US supply chains and US-based industry. Indeed, just this morning I had a meeting with the global CEO of Rio Tinto. Australian companies have significant investments in US steel industry, creating thousands of jobs in both the US and in Australia. We will continue to make the case for Australia's national interests with the US administration, and what's more, we regard this as also being in the US's national interest as well. Because tariffs, of course, don't tax us, they tax the purchasers of our products. And that is something that's very clear, and it's also a fact that the US has had a trade surplus with Australia since the Truman presidency. I have a discussion with President Trump scheduled, and I will certainly keep the House and the Australian people informed after that discussion.
Let me stress that protectionism leads nowhere, and trade and tariff wars have no winners.